I have not really seen many women that are 21 years old that had a great relationship with their father, that father was there, that dates a man that is close to their age. Ever. There's a respect level that goes within it. So now when you really start to look at all the variables that come into play, and it's like, who are you truly seeking? Are you seeking the ones who you can mold because there is no foundation for and never really was? Or are you seeking the ones who are just good to be a wife? And that's when the real reality of this whole, age gap thing comes into play. In my opinion, by the way.
No.
This is my perspective.
I know it's not like, fair enough. I'm not Reaper.
Wait.
She had a lot to say. She was making mad faces and mad stuff back there. Like, no. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I'm being judged, and I
I
deserve to be compensated for such judgment.
But Matt, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do your parents have a great age gap, a big age difference?
No, they're like a year or so apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you have in your, I guess, immediate circle, or if not, like family, extended family, that you know of, or even friends that have a large age gap?
All right, so there's a teacher that I'm like really still cool with. You see what I'm saying? And these are like married people that I talk to all the time. He's 10 years older than his wife.
Yeah, but that's, that falls into the realm. Right?
Yeah, so it's just like,
because there's a difference between.
The reason why I was asking the question about manipulation and things of that nature, I think manipulation within the textbook definition of it is not bad in it of itself. I think the intent is what makes the manipulation good and or bad. You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
So it's just like, let's say if there is a significant age gap. I'm just speaking hypothetically here. I'm not saying that this is something that I'll do. If the intention is still good by that man, right? And then now I have a woman that isn't necessarily broken in by all the nonsense that goes on in this world, then it's just like, that will be the best move for me on paper.
I get what you're saying, right? But I would only challenge that to say, because I do agree to a certain extent. That's why I won't go past 10 years, right? And that's just me, right? Now, when you get to this point where you have a 45-year-old dating a 21-year-old, the issue that I then have is this. This woman that you're now jumping in, to a serious relationship with, sex is sex. I'm not saying an older woman and a woman in her 20s can't have sex with a man in their 40s. If that's what it's going to be, that is a conscious decision made by two adults. But when we're talking about an actual relationship that actually has an interdependence on each other, right? What typically happens is this, and I'm not saying this is everybody. We use our experience as our dominance, especially men. Older siblings do it. Everybody in history have respect your elders because they're supposed to know better. But the problem is once you're doing that with somebody who hasn't fully developed, you now could potentially be taking away something that they could be something that they could be, or maybe you could be saving them potentially, right? If you want to play devil's advocate, they could be on the verge of going down the wrong path and you're steering them right.
Might I interject really quick,
Sure.
sir?
Yeah.
You're talking about fully developed. So you do know technically the brain is fully developed at 25. So let's say that 51-year-old is now 55 and you know what I'm saying, that 21-year-old is now 25. Is that still the same?
No, because what I would say is full developed isn't the capacity, the size of your brain or the capacity you could use it at. It's really the understanding of it, right? There's a lot of people that don't understand things until they get to 29, 30. Right now, we have more men and women living at home with their parents at 29 than ever in history in America, right? Why? Because this new world is hard to fucking understand, right? So when you're able to understand life and you're able to understand, the potential outcomes of your decisions, that's when I say, all right, cool. And I do think there's a cutoff period on when you're able to do it. If you're a 30-year-old man or woman and you still can't understand it, you just going to have to figure out the hard way. So if my daughter is 35 years old and she wants to date a 60-year-old man, she's going to have to figure out the hard way. There's nothing more that I can do or life can do but life for her or him, whomever, right? And I think that at that point is that when you got to cut the umbilical cord. But 20 years old, 21 years old, when I look at myself, and anybody around me at 2021, none of us made the right decisions. None of us made decisions that we truly knew was going to affect us later or, in a positive way or in a negative way. We were just making decisions based on what we felt and what we thought we should be doing.
Yeah, so, okay. I know we keep
going back and forth.
Nah, it's like I'm
Absolutely.
spinning the conversation a little bit, but like, okay, so naturally, you are right. At 21, you have a very high likelihood of making terrible decisions, guy or girl, right? When it comes to specifically the woman side of the situation, when it comes to vetting a man properly, the men in your family are really supposed to assist with that. You see what I'm saying? And again, I'm not just making this up. I'm talking from experience. Like the women that I know, the men and women that I know that are married, happily married, and successfully married, it wasn't just the woman vetting that dude. I think he's cool. I think he's cute. Come on, let's just go down the aisle. Like no, like yo, they were sat down, they were vetted. Like yo, what are your intentions for the next 5 years, 10 years? Like do you have your own apartment? Like no, I don't. Like if you don't have your apartment, we're not even gonna tell you to get married to this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like to tag along with the age gap. It's also supposed to be assisted by the men in the family to make sure that woman is not making a silly decision.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is why I told you before in the very beginning, most women who are 20, 21 years old do not have a strong relationship with a male figure in their household at that age because they don't have that man to vet for them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's easier for them to fall into that, that cycle. And the thing is this, we had it here on 8 at the table where a woman said, hey, I was out here dealing with an older man and he was providing for things for me that younger men couldn't. And then, they were blaming him for the reason why they kept on repeating the cycle. Right? But really it's like, okay, if you didn't have that man, that dad or that male figure to vet that man out, that's really on you because you made that conscious decision to sleep with that older man that was making you false promises. And the second that you stepped out of line, he decided to kick you to the curb because realistically you had no value for him, but a placeholder. So, but in my opinion, to go back and answer your question, when a woman has a strong male figure in her life that she has a great relationship with, not just one that was present, you know what I'm saying? Those women will go to their father and trust their father's instinct on vetting the man out. And typically they will have a respect factor for dating a man that age. The same thing, I agree on the flip side. If a man has a strong relationship with his daughter, he's not going to date he's not going to date a girl his daughter's age when him and his wife break up.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? If I have, let's say I'm 50 years old and my daughter's 21 and me and her mother doesn't work out for whatever reason, I'm not dating a 21-year-old at 50. Now you're my daughter's age. Shit, I couldn't even date a girl my sister's age and she's only 2.5 years younger than me, let alone date my daughter. So when you have a respect factor for the other opposite sex that are in, your immediate family, I feel like you tend to steer away from dating people in that age group. For some instances, obviously, brothers and sisters are different. But
Yeah, of course, there's an anomaly.
You have any last remarks?
Oh, we supposed to be wrapping up. My fault.
Yeah.
I'm making everybody work overtime. My fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, last remarks.
But definitely tell them where they can find you at.
Yes.
Anything you got coming up as well as your last mark.
I'm always terrible at this. But you guys can find me at Matt Violinist. That's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MattViolinist. At the moment, I don't remember anything that's coming up. So just follow the page. You'll see what's coming up. We'll go from there. But final thoughts. I do think that marriage can definitely be a beautiful thing if done correctly. I'm going to be honest. If you are confused about what you should or should not do when it comes to getting married, find a married couple that you respect and that you know for a fact they are successful, they are happy, and they are actually growing. Don't look at the Instagram stuff. Don't just listen to what people say. Follow the people that are actually doing it. You have to search for it sometimes. And if you find it, if you seek it, you will find it. And then from there, you can start getting the answers on how exactly to, tailor-make your situation in order to become successful in a marriage.
Well, anyways, thank you guys for joining us back on our very first episode of 2024. And we'll have more episodes to come. So like, comment, subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Join our YouTube